Behind every broken marriage lies a secret. But in the case of Chief Emeka and his wife Edeora, the secret was powerful enough to burn a multi-million naira luxury car to ashes. To the world, Emeka was a calm, calculating billionaire who never acted without reason. So when he set his wife's expensive car on fire in broad daylight, everyone thought he had finally gone mad. But the truth was darker, deeper, and far more shocking than anyone imagined. This is a story of betrayal, hidden wounds, and a marriage built on lies, until the flames finally exposed everything. The night it happened, Lagos was restless. Rain clouds hung low, refusing to burst, trapping the heat in a way that made the air heavy, thick, like the sky itself was watching, waiting. The Kunle Mansion stood at the center of the private estate, a palace of marble and glass. Lights glowed from its windows, reflecting off the expensive cars parked neatly like trophies. But the brightest light that night was the fire. Started small. A thin, flickering flame at the tip of a lighter. Kunle Adeyemi was standing in the driveway, his expensive loafers planted firmly on the ground as he flicked the lighter open and shut. Open and shut. His breathing was slow, controlled, too controlled. In front of him stood a car worth more than most houses in Nigeria. A sleek, imported limited edition white luxury SUV. His wife's favorite. Cameras from neighbors' balconies were already recording. Security guards whispered nervously but didn't dare move. A maid stood by the gate, hand over her mouth in shock. "Chief, please," one guard finally managed to whisper. "Let us call Madam." "No." Kunle didn't raise his voice, but the words sliced through the air like glass. He opened the gallon of petrol in his hand and began to pour. The liquid splashed against the hood of the car, ran down the sides and pooled on the ground. The smell filled the air, sharp, unmistakable. By now, neighbors were calling the estate security line. But Kunle didn't rush. Every movement was slow, deliberate. Inside the house the curtains shifted, and someone was watching. Silhouette. Woman. His wife. Her hand covered her mouth, but not because of fear. More, because she knew exactly why this was happening. And she was powerless to stop it. The last drops of petrol fell. Kunle stepped back. He flicked the lighter one last time. And this time he didn't close it. The flame caught instantly. The car roared to life in a burst of fire, the reflection dancing across Kunle's face. He stood still, calm, almost peaceful, as the blaze grew taller and hotter. The neighbors screamed. "What is happening? Is he mad? What did his wife do? Jesus, this is a billionaire." But Kunle didn't hear them. He was hearing something else entirely. Voice. Memory. Promise broken. He clenched his jaw, and his eyes, usually calm and unreadable, shook with a storm no one else could see. Behind the blazing car, the mansion door opened sharply. His wife stepped outside. Tall, elegant, stunning, dressed in a silk house robe, diamonds glittering at her wrist. Her beauty always commanded attention, even in chaos. "Kunle!" she shouted over the roar of the flames. "Stop this madness." He didn't turn to her. "Don't call it madness," he said quietly, voice steady. "Call it truth." Her face paled. The guard stepped back, sensing something deeper, something dangerous, beneath his calm. "Kunle, listen to me." "No." His voice finally cracked, just a little. "You will listen. Tonight. You will listen." Silence. Only the fire spoke. His wife took a small breath, hands trembling slightly. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. "Kunle, what did I do?" Finally, Kunle turned his head. Their eyes locked. A storm met a secret. His voice dropped low, deadly low. "You know exactly why." She opened her mouth to reply, but shut it instantly, fear flickering in her eyes. Something in her expression shifted. Just for a moment. Just long enough for Kunle to confirm the truth. "You lied to me," he said. The neighbors leaned forward from balconies. His wife blinked rapidly. "Kunle, You lied to me for 3 years, he continued, stepping closer. And tonight, I am done protecting your secrets. His wife's heart thudded loudly, loud enough she could hear it in her ears. Kunle, please, she whispered, voice breaking. Let's talk inside. But Kunle shook his head. No more inside conversations. No more pretending. He gestured toward the burning car. This fire, is the only way left to show the truth. Her lips trembled. Kunle, what truth? Kunle turned fully toward her, his face illuminated by flames. The truth, he said slowly, about the car you claimed you bought with your own money. She froze. The neighbors held their breath. And the truth, he continued, voice trembling with suppressed betrayal, about the man who actually bought it for you. The air shattered. Even the fire seemed to pause. His wife took one step back, eyes widening in horror. Kunle stared at her, wounded, bleeding from the inside, and whispered, Tell them, tell all of them, who the car really belonged to. Her breath caught in her throat. She couldn't speak. And the fire rose higher, eating the car, lighting the truth. The night Lagos would never forget had only just begun. The next morning dawned with an uncomfortable stillness. Not the quiet kind that came from peace, but the heavy, suffocating kind that came before a storm. Amara woke up in her old bedroom, walls painted soft peach, a color she had chosen as a teenager. The curtains fluttered gently as wind slipped through a crack in the window. She sat up slowly, confused at first, until everything hit her at once. The fire, the shouting, car, Kunle's face, twisted with an emotion she still couldn't name. Her heart thudded painfully. Mama's voice floated in from the kitchen. Amara, my daughter, come and eat. Amara dragged herself out of bed. Her mind kept replaying the moment the flames swallowed the car. Not the car itself, but the rage in Kunle's eyes. A rage she had never seen in him before. Why would a man burn something worth millions without thinking twice? By the time she stepped into the kitchen, Mama was waiting with a plate of yam and stew. Sit, Mama said softly. Amara sat but didn't touch the food. Mama eyed her carefully. You didn't sleep well. Your eyes are swollen. I'm fine. You are not fine, Amara. Silence fell like a stone between them. Mama exhaled deeply. What really happened, Why would he burn your car? I don't know, Amara whispered. And that was the truth. She didn't know. She didn't know what had changed inside Kunle, or why the man who once spoiled her with affection now stood at the edge of something dark. Did you two quarrel? No. Did you cheat? Mama asked bluntly. Amara snapped her head up. Mama, I'm just asking. Men do strange things when their mind is shaking. No, Mama. I didn't do anything. Mama studied her daughter for a long moment, then sighed. My daughter, whatever is happening, you must face it. You cannot run forever. Amara looked down. She knew Mama was right. But she was scared. Scared of the reason. Scared of what she would hear if she finally asked Kunle why he set the car on fire. Because somewhere inside her, she already suspected the answer. The call she did not expect. That afternoon the sun climbed high, burning through the clouds. Amara sat outside, letting the warm air calm her racing thoughts. Her phone buzzed. Kunle calling. Her fingers trembled. Was he angry? Was he calm? Was he still the man she married? Or a stranger she no longer recognized? She answered. Hello. For a moment there was only silence. Amara. Kunle's voice sounded tired. Not angry. Not cold. Just worn out. Please come home. We need to talk. Amara's chest tightened. About the car. No, he said. About us. About something I should have told you long ago. Her breath caught. Something long ago. Her voice came out small. Are you okay? No. And I won't pretend anymore. Kunle, what's happening? Just come home. Please. It was the please that broke her. He never said please. Something was very wrong. Inside the mansion of answers. Kunle Mansion looked the same from the outside. Beautiful, expensive, imposing. But inside the atmosphere was different. Dimmer, quieter. Like grief had walked through the rooms and refused to leave. Kunle stood in the living room, back turned, one hand resting on the fireplace mantel. The smell of smoke still lingered faintly, not from the house, but from the memory of burning metal. He turned when she entered. He looked older, as if one night had aged him 10 years. His eyes were red, as though he hadn't slept or had cried. Amara froze. Kunle stepped forward slowly. Amara, I'm sorry. Those words hit her harder than any flame. Why did you do it? She asked, voice cracking. Why burn the car? Why shout like that? What happened to you? Kunle closed his eyes briefly. Then, without warning, he walked to a drawer, opened it and pulled out a brown envelope. My past, he said quietly. It's time for you to know it. Amara blinked. Your past? Yes. His voice shook. The one I hid from you. The one I thought I had escaped. The one that came back last night. He handed her the envelope with trembling fingers. Inside were old photographs, a newspaper clippings, and a faded, folded letter. Her stomach twisted. What is all this? Kunle swallowed hard. My father, he whispered. The man I never talk about. Amara's hand paused halfway through opening the letter. Kunle continued. He died because of a car. Because of what someone did to him. And last night, I saw that same thing happening again. Amara frowned, confused. Kunle, what are you talking about? His voice broke. I didn't burn the car because of you. I burned it because I lost control. I saw something in that moment. Something I thought I had buried forever. Amara stepped closer. Kunle, what happened to your father? Kunle's jaw tightened. His eyes glistened. And then he said something that shifted the entire ground beneath her feet. Something that would explain the fire, fear, the rage, and the darkness he tried to outrun. But that revelation, that truth, belonged to Chapter 3. The evening after the police left, the Kunle Mansion felt like a breathing thing, alive with tension, trembling with unspoken truths. The walls seemed to shrink, holding memories of arguments, hidden tears, and smiles that never reached the heart. Amara stood by the staircase, arms folded across her chest, staring at the burned outline of the G-Wagon through the glass pane. From inside the house, she could still smell the faint trace of smoke clinging to the curtains. Every time she blinked, she saw flames again, bright, devouring, wild. Not the flames on the car. The flames in her husband. Billionaire Kunle. The man people worshipped. The man newspapers called Africa's fiercest visionary. The man she had married with hopes of forever. That man had burned her car with his own hands. She heard footsteps on the stairs behind her. Slow, heavy, deliberate. She didn't turn. She knew the rhythm of those steps by heart. Amara, he said quietly. She didn't answer. Please, he added. His tone stripped of all the power he carried like a second skin. We need to talk. She inhaled deeply, then finally turned. Kunle looked exhausted. Not physically, emotionally. His usually sharp eyes looked dimmer, weighed down by something she still did not understand. What do you want to talk about? She asked softly. You, he said. And why I did what I did. She braced herself. She expected rage disguised as justification. She expected blame turned around cleverly, as always. But instead, he walked past her, lowered himself onto the long velvet couch in the sitting room, and dropped his face into his hands. For the first time since she married him, he looked small. Sit, he whispered. Amara hesitated but sat. Silence stretched between them, thick and uncomfortable. Finally, he lifted his head. I didn't burn the car because of the money, he said. She frowned. Then why? He swallowed hard. His throat moved slowly like the truth hurt going down or coming up. I saw you with that man. Amara blinked. Which man? The man you hugged outside the charity gala 2 nights ago. Her breath caught. That hug. That small moment of comfort. She had forgotten anyone else had seen. That man, Kunle said in a low, hoarse voice, is the reason I lost myself. Amara stared at him in disbelief. You burned my car because I hugged someone? No, he said. Because that hug broke me open, like a crack in a glass bottle that has been under pressure for years. His voice shook. Amara. That man is my younger brother. Her heart slammed against her ribs. What? He exhaled, trembling. My brother. The one who disappeared 20 years ago. The one my father accused of betraying the family. The one I thought was dead. He looked at her with eyes full of memories she had never been allowed to see. The night I saw you hugging him, I felt like my entire childhood returned in one punch. Pain. The betrayal. The grief. Everything. He rubbed his eyes with trembling fingers. And I snapped. Amara stared, speechless. She knew Kunle's childhood had been hard. She knew he didn't talk about his family. She knew his father was a ruthless businessman who demanded perfection. But she didn't know this. He continued, voice barely above a whisper. Somto was the only person who ever made me feel seen. He was my person, my comfort, my softness. He paused. The night he ran away, I found his room empty and my father screaming that he had disgraced the family, that he was no longer my brother, that I must forget him. Tears filled Kunle's eyes. I never forgot him. Amara covered her mouth, trembling. He looked at her intensely, painfully, honestly. So when I saw you hug him, I felt like I was losing my mind. Felt fear, jealousy, confusion, anger at the universe, anger at myself, anger at him. Everything exploded. And I didn't know how to handle it. He closed his eyes, ashamed. So I burned the car. Amara felt her own tears slipping down her cheeks. Not for the car, not for the chaos, but for the boy inside the man she married. A boy who had been told to bury his heart. A boy who had convinced himself that showing emotion was weakness. A boy who had loved his brother so much that losing him shattered something that never healed. She whispered, "Why didn't you tell me?" He gave a broken laugh. "I don't know how to be vulnerable. I don't know how to ask for help. I built walls, and then I locked myself inside them." His voice fell to a whisper. "I am sorry." Amara stared at him. At the billionaire people feared. At the man the world admired. At the broken soul who finally cracked open for her. Slowly she reached for his hand. "Kunle," she murmured, "we can't heal what you hide." He flinched at the word heal, but didn't pull away. She squeezed his hand gently. "We'll find Somto," she said. "Together. If you let me." He looked at her as though seeing her for the first time. "You would do that?" "Yes," she whispered. "You're my husband. Not your wounds. Not your mistakes. You." His chest rose and fell shakily. Then, without warning, he folded into her arms. Billionaire. Powerful. Feared. Respected. Crying like a child who finally found a safe place to break. For the first time, Amara didn't see the CEO, or the tycoon, or the man who set a car on fire. She saw her husband, and the healing began.